Hi, scholars. Good morning or good afternoon. Thank you for coming to the mini lesson. We are going to learn another skill with the same book we've been focusing on these last 2 days. So the book is A Chair for My Mother. It's by Vera B. Williams. And our skill focus today is going to be I can make a text to self connection. A text to self connection. And I'm going to actually show you exactly what's on Seesaw to basically remind you and just refresh your memory on a text to self connection. And then we're going to go through this book kind of quickly, but I'm going to model for you looking for text to self connections in a book. Okay? So, a text to self connection, what you first have to do is put the book title down, of course, which is A Chair for My Mother. But what you're doing is you're looking for parts in the stories that you can connect to. So this example here, or this chart here, this graphic organizer says the part in the story. So here's where you put the part in the story. Reminds me of the time. Here is where you connect your life to the book, to the story. Now, these are really good sentence starters that I think really explain what a text to self connection is. So you can say, my connection is, or this story reminds me of, or I had the same feelings as a character. Something similar happened when. Similar means kind of the same, okay? Now let's go back to the book. And we're going to be looking for connections that we have to the book. Let me just, right, I'm going to mute it. All right. So on page 1, oopsie. Here we go. All right. My mother works as a waitress in the Blue Tile Diner. After school, sometimes I go to meet her there. There, her boss, Josephine, gives me a job. 2. I wash the salts and peppers and fill the ketchups. One time I peeled all the onions for the onion soup. When I finish, Josephine says, "Good work, honey," and pays me. And every time I put half of my money into the jar. Do you have a connection with this page? Have you ever gone to work with one of your parents before? Have you ever done something, done a job and gotten paid for it? Have you ever put money away into a jar or a piggy bank? These are all examples of connections you might have. All right, next page. It takes a long time to fill a jar this big. Every day when my mother comes home from work, I take down the jar. My mama empties all her change from tips out of her purse for me to count. Then we push all of the coins into the jar. Sometimes my mama's laughing when she comes home from work. Sometimes she's so tired she falls asleep while I count the money out into piles. Some days she has lots of tips. Some days she has only a little. Then she looks worried. But each evening, every single shiny coin goes into the jar. Do you have any connections with this page? Do you have a parent who sometimes comes home laughing and happy? Do you have a parent who sometimes comes home feeling really tired? Have you ever counted money before? Do you like counting things? Do you like putting things into piles? I know as soon as I learned how to count money when I was in elementary school, all I wanted to do was count change. So I have a text to self connection with this page. We sit in the kitchen to count the tips. Usually Grandma sits with us too. While we count, she likes to hum. Often she has money in her old leather wallet for us. Whenever she gets a good bargain on tomatoes or bananas or something she buys, she puts by the savings and they go into the jar. I have a connection with this page too. My grandma always likes to look for things that are on sale. She likes to use coupons to save money. And my grandma likes to hum, just like this grandma. When we can't get a single other coin inside the jar, we're going to take out all the money and go buy a chair. Yes, a chair. A wonderful, beautiful, soft armchair. We will get one covered in velvet with roses all over it. We're going to get the best chair in the whole world. That's because our old chairs burned up. There was a big fire in our other house. All our chairs burned, so did our sofa, and so did everything else. That wasn't such a long time ago. Now, I don't know if you have a connection with this page. I have never had my house or apartment set on fire before, but I did have a student. My second year of teaching, her apartment was on fire and she lost all of her stuff. She was very, very upset. My mother and I were coming home from buying new shoes. I had new sandals. She had new pumps. We were walking to our house from that bus. We were looking at everyone's tulips. She was saying she liked red tulips, and I was saying I liked yellow ones. Then we came to our block. Do you have a connection with this page? Right outside our house stood two big fire engines. I could see lots of smoke. Tall orange flames came out of the roof. All the neighbors stood in a bunch across the street. Mama grabbed my hand and we ran. My Uncle Sandy saw us and ran to us. Mama yelled, "Where's Mother?" I yelled, "Where's my grandma?" My Aunt Ida waved and shouted, "She's here, she's here. She's okay, don't worry." Mama was all right. Our cat was safe too, though it took a while to find her. But everything else in our whole house was spoiled. Oopsie. This page is always a little hard for me. What was left of the house was turned to char and ashes. We went to stay with my mother's sister, Aunt Ida, and Uncle Sandy. Then we were able to move into an apartment downstairs. We painted the walls yellow and the floors were all shiny, but the rooms were very empty. Have you ever stayed with another family member before? Maybe you do right now. A lot of people have that happen where you might live with another family member. Maybe you have a connection with this page. Maybe you've lived with your mom's sister before, your dad's sister or brother, or a grandma. Let's see. The first day we moved in, the neighbors brought pizza and cake and ice cream, and they brought a lot of other things too. The family across the street brought a table and 3 kitchen chairs. The very old man next door gave us a bed from when his children were little. Have you ever had something like this happen? Have you ever had people in your community or friends of yours help you out if you were having a tough time? Has that ever happened to you? Has that ever happened maybe at school? If you and your family needed something, did you ever have someone help you get what you needed? My other grandpa brought us his beautiful rug. My mother's other sister, Sally, had made us red and white curtains. Mama's boss, Josephine, brought pots and pans, silverware, and dishes. My cousin brought me her own stuffed bear. Everyone clapped when my grandma made a speech. You are all the kindest people, she said, and we thank you very, very much. It's lucky we're young and can start all over. Okay, now these last few pages, I'm not going to read every word. I'm just going to basically kind of summarize each page and what happens, since you've heard this story twice already. So on this page, basically what happens is we find out they don't have a sofa and they don't have big chairs, but we also find out that their jar is full, right? It's completely full. So they go to the bank and they exchange all of the coins for dollar bills. Has anything like that happened to you? I know I have a text-to-self connection. I used to collect coins in a jar and I would take them to the bank too. So they exchange all the money, they get they exchange their coins. That means they trade their coins for dollar bills. And then they go to 4 different stores and they're trying out all sorts of different chairs. And the grandma said she felt like Goldilocks. And then they finally found a chair they really liked. They had enough money and their aunt and uncle brought their pickup truck so they could drive the chair home and they wouldn't have to have it delivered. They were so excited. And the main character really wanted to ride in the truck, in the chair, but they wouldn't let her. But they did carry her up in the chair to their apartment. And then at the end, we learned that the grandma sits in the chair during the day and she talks to neighbors outside by the window. And then when the mom comes home, the mom comes and sits and relaxes her feet. and the little girl sometimes falls asleep and they're able to reach the light. Okay, so on this assignment, you are going to put your name. It's just always a good idea to practice remembering to put our name on something. So you put your name, and then you put the title, and I want you to type the title. I don't usually have you do this, but I want you to type it, A Chair for My Mother. You should be able to do this and spell everything right since it's on the page. Okay, A Chair for My Mother. And then you're going to pick a part in the story, and you're going to put it right here, and then reminds me of the time right here. So I'm going to say, gosh, and sometimes I think things and I forget them right away. So I might have to go back to the story. What was I gonna? Oh, I know. Counting money. I love to do that. The part in the story where they count money. Okay, so I'm just finishing the sentence. The part in the story where they count money reminds me of the time when I used to count and sort my coins into piles on the floor. Okay, I'm going to make that a little smaller so it fits. And then you're going to have another page, and this page is optional. You don't have to do it, but basically what you do is you make more text-to-self connections. When I was reading, I had so many connections, and I have a feeling you had so many connections too. So these sentence starters are helpful. It'll help you think. But the part like the story reminds me of, you could say, the story reminds me of when my student's apartment burned down. Okay. And I'm going to make it smaller and stick it here. So you could put a second connection here. You could put another one, and another one. That would be basically going above and beyond. That would be doing extra and really showing me that you understand the skill and that you are really, really understanding the story, because that's what good readers do, is we connect to books, and we really we try to make connections so that we can understand how characters are feeling, which helps us understand the story and the problem even more. Okay, so you're going to make your connections on Seesaw, and you're going to be practicing the same skill with your independent reading book today. All right, happy reading.